Hey, it's Ruby. Welcome to the start of a new weekly vlog. I'm gonna try and bring you along every single day, but we are traveling this week. We're going to Indiana to visit my husband's family. It's also gonna be his birthday, so it should be fun. I haven't met some of them, so I'll be meeting them, and then I don't know how it's gonna go because we're taking Butters with us because we don't want to board him, but I mean, he can't go everywhere, so I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm a little nervous about that, but we'll see. However, I am taking 3 books for the road because I calculated and it takes 10 hours to get there and then 10 hours to drive back. So that's 20 hours on the road, which is a lot. So we have some time to read. I did go ahead and put all the books on my Kindle because I mean, I don't know. It might get dark or something. I just went ahead and did that. And the first one, actually, I don't have it physically. I only have it on the Kindle. So it is going to be Funny Story by Emily Henry. Can you see it? I'm not sure. The sun is freaking blazing in here. I'm hiding behind this curtain because it's just so bright. I took off my glasses because you could see the sun coming in, but yeah, Funny Story. And then if I have time, like I said, I don't know how it's gonna go because I don't know what we're gonna do, but if I have time, then of course we'll move on to another one, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. People have been reading it and really loving it, so I'm kind of curious. And then we'll round out the week with Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. As you can see, these are all really popular TikTok books, so we'll be reading popular TikTok books, which I think it'll be fun because I'm thinking that these are all going to be great based on what everybody else is saying. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Of course, I'm going to bring you along and I'm going to give you my thoughts when I can. Good morning. So we've been here I guess a day and a half so far, and I didn't want to vlog yesterday because we celebrated his birthday at his aunt and uncle's house, and a lot of his family came over and I was just meeting a lot of them, so I didn't want to, film anybody or anything like that. But today we are gonna be going to like thrifting, I think, or to a flea market and to eat some ribs, and then maybe, I don't know, just a scenic route and just have a chill day. And tomorrow I plan to go to some bookstores, or a bookstore at least, but I don't know, I think that's gonna be in a separate video, but we'll see. I do owe you an update on Just for the Summer. I did read 50% of it on the drive up to Indiana, so I want to update you on that, but I think I'll do that tomorrow when I'm on my own so that we can chat. Good morning. It is, I don't know, like day 4 here in Indiana. But I'm going to go to a bookstore. I don't know if I'm going to include the footage because I'm filming this other video, but yeah, I think it's going to be chill. But we have the update for Just for the Summer. I am 50% in and I'm really liking it so far. I think it's such a good book. I really like how she did everything, like how she's introducing or bringing back the characters from Part of Your World. I thought that was really cool. Like in the beginning, right off the bat, we get someone from Part of Your World, and then I'm guessing that maybe somebody else might show up now that they're in the same city as Part of Your World. So far, I really like it. I think that the romance is just right. We're barely getting introduced to kind of like all the problems. She right off the bat shows us all the problems, all the bad stuff that's happening, right? And all the things that the struggles and all that. But they haven't really been dealing with anything yet because we're 50% in. But I'm guessing like after this, everything's gonna like, it's gonna happen. Our female lead is a nurse, and she's a traveling nurse. And then the other guy is a software engineer, and he works from home, so he's just always home. And the way that they meet is because he posts on Reddit about a shitty situation that happened to him, because he feels like he's cursed because every time he's serious about someone, he's dating someone seriously, they break up, and then that person goes on to find their soulmate. So he's just kind of venting on Reddit because his best friend, that just happened, that he broke up with his girlfriend, and then his best friend fell in love with her, and now they're together, they're like living together. And he's like, am I the asshole for being upset about this? And so his story kind of blows up, and like it gets picked up, like he's getting calls from news reporters, news outlets. He just wants to stay anonymous. He was just like venting. But the female main character reads his Reddit post and kind of reaches out and is like, that happens to me too. So that's how they kind of start talking. But of course, when I finish the book, I will update you on how I ended up liking it. But so far, so good. I have not read anything else. It's been like a couple of days that I haven't read. I'm assuming that I'm probably not going to get much reading done. But when I get home, we will definitely be reading those other two books. I did start Binding 13, but I think I'm like 15% in or something. So yeah, I'll update you later on. But for now, I'm gonna go to the bookstore. Good morning. I'm back in Maryland. I didn't vlog too much when we were in Indiana because we were with his family, and I just didn't want to, record anyone and ask for people's consent that I was just meeting. So, it was a little like, had it been my family, I would have asked them, but it was his. And like I said, these were people that I was barely meeting. I want to be shoving a camera in their face. So I didn't vlog too much, but I did get some clips. I went to Half Price in Indiana, and then on our way back, I stopped in Columbus, Ohio, because there was 3 Half Price kind of in a little cluster. So I went there. And yeah, I do have a haul coming up. I know I kept saying that this was like, I want to know by this was my last hurrah, and that's true. And I even said, with the exception of Done and Dusted and Swift and Saddled, and that's true, I did get those. But like I said, you'll probably see that's the last haul. I am thinking of getting Kindle Unlimited again because I am serious about cooling it on the book buying front, because I've bought so many books recently, so many. I didn't expect to pick up so many at Half Price, but I did. I think I ended up with like 15 new books. I'm gonna be opening these packages up because I'm kind of curious. I did open this one, which is my book of the month package, and it's funny because I knew that as soon as I got this, I was gonna list it for sale, which is unfortunate. If it doesn't sell, like usually I sell my books really inexpensively. Like Pango takes quite a good cut out of any books that we sell. So I just make like $2 from a book sale, and I obviously pay a lot more than $2 for my books, but I just want to rehome them. This one, however, is brand spanking new, so I am listing it on Pango. And if it doesn't sell at the price that I'm listing, which like I said, Pango takes a good amount. I think I listed it and they're taking like $3-4 off the price. So we'll see. If not, I'll give it to my brother because I've heard nothing but good things about this book. This book is blowing up. It's Five Broken Blades by Mai Corland. And everybody's reading this book right now. Everybody's loving it. So I wanted to read it, but I did cancel Book of the Month because I knew that it probably wasn't going to be for me, but I wanted to try it. However, when I want a new book like this, I just pre-order it or I get it, and it's just not worth it to me to be getting Book of the Month because of that. So yeah, I am listing this one for sale because I have it already. So like I said, I knew I was going to be getting the first edition of this book. So here's the first edition of Five Broken Blades. It is really, really gorgeous. It has a really cool, like, what is it? Like embossed cover. And then if you haven't seen it, it has gorgeous end papers like this. And then of course we have the sprayed edges. So it is a Red Tower book, and they are continuing this whole sprayed edge thing. I'm more mindful now with what I'm buying, and I just don't want to buy a book because it's beautiful, but because this has gotten such good reviews, I knew I wanted to get it. But like I said, I'm gonna have to sell the other one because I don't need to. I just don't. And then I finally got my freaking April Fairy Loot adult box. This took forever. I don't know why they took so long to ship it, but they did. But I finally have it, so let's go ahead and open it in case you don't want to get spoiled. I mean, this is old. We're already like midway May pretty much, and this was the April box, so I'm sure you've already seen it, so I'll show it to you. But it was Evocation by S.T. Gibson. This got mixed reviews, but I think they're skewing positively. I do have A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, and I have not read it, but I went ahead and got this because, as we all know, you only have a limited amount of skips with Fairy Loot. So I did pick it up because I did think it was beautiful, and I love this like blood red color. I think it's gorgeous. We have, let's see, the end papers are different this time. Now they did this like glossy end paper, which I don't know how I feel about it. I guess it's okay, but they did it for both sides. And then we'll look at the naked hardcover. The naked hardcover is gorgeous. I freaking love this like wine red color. It just looks so luxurious. And then we have the edges are also really cool. Like they did a really good job with these. And then they're a little different at the top and the bottom, but I'm for sure keeping this one because it's beautiful. It's definitely right up my alley, and I do intend to read it. So that worked out. But yeah, like I said, I did cancel Book of the Month because I'm already having those books, so it's just not worth it. But now let's do the update on Just for the Summer. I really ended up enjoying this. I think from the 3 that are in the Part of Your World trilogy, I think my favorite is still Yours Truly, because even though the end of that book really annoyed me, we had a trope that I do not like. I won't spoil it for you, but look them up, I guess. But I just don't like that trope. So I did dock it a whole ass star just because of that, because it did bother me that much. But I loved the letter writing aspect. They were so cute. I was like giggly and giddy and loving the book until that point. And if you've read it, then you probably know what I'm talking about. But this one was really, really amazing. Also, I really, really liked it. I'd say this one's probably my second favorite, and then the first one, Part of Your World, is probably my least favorite. Just because Alexis kind of annoyed me in that first one with her indecision and her whole like, he's too young for me, even though he was already a grown adult. But you know what I mean? I don't know. It just kind of annoyed me. But with this one, Justin, the male main character, was a sweetheart. Definitely the definition of if he wanted to, he would. He was so romantic. He did so many cute little things for her. He was really patient with her, really, really patient with her. And of course, the FMC, the female main character, she didn't quite annoy me, so that was good because I felt like one of the things that Abby does so well is that her stories, they come off as realistic. Like, even though they can get quite ridiculous, it's realistic though. Like, I could totally see all these things in here happening. I think it was crazy, their whole little curse thing. But definitely not what I expected of it. When I first read what people were saying about how the were two people that had curses, like, I very much took it as even almost magical realism, although it's not. It's a contemporary romance for sure, but I just thought it was so unique. Like, the story was unique, and I just felt like the harder topics, the more impactful topics, she always does such a good job with that, creating this rom-com book but also discussing some heavier things and just meshing them beautifully, meshing them perfectly. I will say, you can read this book by itself on its own and not read Part of Your World and Yours Truly, but I would 100% not recommend that because we have characters from book 1 and book 2 in this. The ones from book 2 make the cameo, but it's like, okay, they're there, right? Like, oh, cool, they're there. But from book 1, you need to read. I would say at least read book 1, if anything, because I just felt like it was more impactful that way. You just kind of, the reading experience was better. I was like, wow, that was really cool. So yeah, I gave this 4 stars. I really liked it. Did I give it 4 stars? Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. So definitely recommend it. Abby Jimenez is an auto-buy author to me. I freaking love her books. They're amazing. I definitely recommend them because, like I said, they're not only funny and cute and make you giggle and make you laugh, but they're also a little bit more. You know what I mean? Kind of like Emily Henry, where like Happy Place, for me, it was cute and it was fun and I like laughed and giggled, but it was also more. And I know that not everybody likes that book, but I do want to point out that I very much connected to the female main character of that book, and that's why it's like one of my favorite books of all time. But I also like those types of books, you know, just like kind of cutesy little romances. And those are 2 authors that do it so well. So I think next we're gonna pick up Binding 13. I have started it, so it is a long book, and I'm currently on page 80, chapter 7. I have this on the audiobook also because it's free on Hoopla, so I think that's really gonna help me get through this because I have so many chores to do today. I have to pack, I have to wash, I have to, there's a lot. Luckily, I never leave the home without like a clean kitchen and stuff, so that's all done. But I do have just tons of boxes from packages that have piled up. I have stacks of books. I have the last stacks of books where I feel like I'm gonna read the first book in all those series so that I can decide if I want to keep them or unhaul them, because I'm in the mood to unhaul. I'm in the mood to get rid of things, and I usually like to do an unhaul video, but this past time I didn't. I just got rid of like 30 books just like that, and all those have sold and have their new home. But I still have more. Because I'm always just going through my stuff. I am that type of person. I don't like clutter. I really go through my things pretty much every month and unhaul. I filled up a whole box, like a huge box. I mean a huge box of clothes. I went through our closet and I just unhauled because I really only wear the same things over and over when I'm here at home, and I'm always at home. I always just wear a t-shirt, and then I do wear jeans like every day and a bookish sweater, and I just kind of rotate. When we go out, I do wear other clothes, but I just didn't need all the t-shirts I had, all the graphic tees, and just other things that I used to wear for work that are a little too like formal for my liking. So yeah, I'm just really happy that I went through all that stuff and now have to go drop it off to donation. But yeah, I'm happy to be home. So let's get to reading Binding 13. Good morning. It is a brand new day and it is so nice outside. It is dark and gloomy, which I know that that's not people's idea of nice outside, but I freaking love it. I love when it is like this and not when it's like super sunny and stuff, because keep in mind I'm from South Texas where it's like 100 degrees every day. So this is just a happy change. But California is probably going to be super hot because I'm going to live in like the desert. But anyway, I went downstairs with Butters. We got a package. I got Done and Dusted and Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. I told you that I was going to allow myself to get these books because I just really wanted them. I love these freaking covers so much. So much. This like kind of pop art style with all the little dots. I couldn't help it. And then the third book is coming out later this year. Yesterday I actually sat down writing down new releases because I'm thinking I'm gonna get a planner. I haven't planned in so long, but lately I just feel like I need one. I need a planner. I'm thinking of Hobonichi. I don't know which one. I don't know if Weeks or Cousin. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna look it up because I'm thinking Hobonichi is gonna be the way to go for me personally. But I do have a little update because I started reading this last night. So I am on page 156, chapter 17, which is like 25% in the book. So not very much because it is a really long book. And let me just say, first off, I think so far this book might just be too long because I feel like not much has happened. I feel like they're really spending time with these characters and being in the characters' heads. And I just feel like maybe it's a little too much, but I could be wrong. It could completely change. But so far, I just feel like it's a little too long. Like I wish we would have sped this first 25% up and not just spent it so much in their mundane lives. But we have Johnny and Shannon. Shannon literally has moved schools so much because she's been bullied hardcore at all these schools, even attacked sometimes physically. And so she's moved schools so much. She has a really bad home life. Her dad sucks. I don't know if he's straight up an alcoholic or just abuses alcohol because I don't think that they've right out said it, but from what I gather, he does drink a lot and he doesn't work. His mom is the one that has to provide for her whole family, all her siblings and Shannon. So she's always tired and busy and all that. But the mom really cares. Like the mom really comes through for her and wants her to be safe and happy. The complete opposite of her dad. So she starts off going to Tommen College, which is why it's called Boys of Tommen, because we're going to follow different boys that go to Tommen, I guess. And yeah, so she moves to this school and she is happy because she has two friends that go here that are like childhood friends. At least one of them, Claire, is a childhood friend, and then the other one she also really likes. So she's just looking forward to it, and honestly it goes well so far. She's not getting bullied. She did have this like super bad accident the first day of school, which she thought she was gonna get viciously bullied for, but Johnny Kavanaugh kind of stepped in and made sure that nobody bullied her and nobody brought up her incident. So yeah, so far in this 25%, all we've done is read about them living their mundane lives and pining over each other, except she's too shy to do anything about it, and he is having his reservations because she's 15, she's gonna turn 16, and he's 17, I believe, gonna turn 18. So he's like, that's illegal, and he's a super famous, popular rugby player who literally has all the potential to play pro. Like everybody expects him to play pro, so he just is really careful with his image. He's super disciplined, but he can't stay away from the little tiny shy girl, which they have said so much how little and tiny she is. Like, we get it. She's mousy, she's petite, she's frail. They go so far as to say she has like no boobs, no butt. She's just so small and tiny, and Johnny is into her. So I don't know. So far, I gotta say, I'm not loving it, but one thing that I have loved is Gypsy. Gypsy is Johnny's friend, and he's kind of like the comedic relief for the book. He's so funny. He is vulgar and inappropriate, kind of like they all kind of are, but he's so funny, and he really does care. He cares about everybody, and you can tell that he looks out for everyone, but also just tries to make everyone laugh and smile. And I know that the latest book is about him and Claire's romance. So honestly, I can't wait to read that book. Gypsy and Claire are my favorite so far, even though this book is about Shannon and Johnny. I just kind of don't really, I don't know. I feel like right now, chapter 17, they're finally gonna be put together where they're gonna have to carry a conversation, because the first 25%, they haven't really talked. They just kind of stare at each other across the cafeteria and pine. But I think now we're gonna reach the point where they're gonna talk. So we'll see how that goes, because I want it to pick up already. So I'm gonna keep reading, and of course I'll update you later on. Good afternoon. It is the next day. I've done some reading, so I owe you an update. At this point, I'm about 75% into Binding 13. I've been listening to the audiobook because I've actually been doing a lot of things. I've had a lot of things to do, and I still have a lot of things to do, but I'll kind of show you. I think that might be interesting, but I wanted to take a little break just to update you on how that's going. So before we do that, I'll show you what I've been getting up to. I'm filming this other video called like the ultimate bookish video, where we're doing all kinds of bookish stuff. But because of that, I decided to kind of redo my little mini shelves. And so I'm going to be redoing that. I've also completely redone my actual bookshelves, all the books. I have a new stack of unhaul books. I am overflowing with books, and I did another haul because I went to half price, and then I had a book outlet order that I had placed that I forgot about. So your girl has books coming in, and because of that, I decided that I'm gonna have to start reading my physical TBR, because I'm very faithful to Libby and Hoopla, and I now have Amazon Kindle back. I mean Kindle Unlimited back, and so yeah, I can get caught up on all that, but I at least want to do periodic unhauling videos if I can. And I found a new YouTuber. She's from Texas. She used to have a sticker shop. She's in her 30s. She is literally me if I was white and had children. But I really like her. I will leave her channel down below because I really like her. She's awesome. And I've watched a couple of her videos so far because, like I said, I just found her. And she does this really cool thing where she has this jar where she has all her physical TBR. And I took the moment to write up a lot of my TBR right now to put into a jar so that I can do reading vlogs where I just pick out 5 books, and then I either have to read the books or unhaul them. I think she also does where she reads them, and then if she doesn't like it, she unhauls it. So I think that's what I'm going to start doing in some of these reading vlogs, or doing even more reading vlogs, so that I can go through my physical TBR, because I have overflowed now. I had to clear a shelf over there because they don't fit anymore in my shelves, and there's just no need for that. So let me show you what I've been up to. Excuse my messy desk, but it just is what it is. Like I said, I cut up all the little papers, and I'm just waiting for the jar. I'm burning a candle and I'm waiting for the candle to fully burn out because I really want to use that jar. And then I'm redoing my mini shelves. As you can see, I had a whole bunch of little books, but I took them all down, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and keep one out, and I'm just gonna put my favorite, like my 5-star reads, and that's how I'm gonna keep going, because I'm reading way too many books. Before it was easy to keep up with them, but now I'm just reading so many books. So I think I'm just gonna keep one of the little mini shelves for now and move the little Bigfoots in, and then yeah, My shelves have changed quite a bit. If you saw my, what was it, my bookshelf tour, they've just changed. I also got one of those little dehumidifier things, but I don't know if I necessarily need it. I just wanted to get one, but I put it on the floor because I'm too paranoid to put it on the shelves. I'm sure it's doing nothing. But let me pan you over. Say hi to Butters. I have a mess. Don't judge. I still have my carry-on out because I'm going to be traveling. And then I have a stack of boxes because I've gotten orders. And I don't know, I kept those in case somebody orders a lot of books. And then here, these are also my books. I had to clear this before I had the books I was selling here, but I had to clear that because these are also mine. So there's that. And then I had to move my unhaul. Look at this mess. Don't judge me. It's so bad. I'm trying to get it together, but these are all books that I have for sale on my Pango, and then these are still ones that are on my preliminary unhaul shelf. So needless to say, there's a lot to get through. And man, I just feel like I have so much stuff, even though I try not to have a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, let's do a quick update before I get back to it. I am now about 75% of the way in. I only have about 25% left. I'm on chapter 47, page 424. And so far, this book is not a favorite. I will definitely say that it's not going to be 5 stars. If I had to give it a star rating right now, I'd be between 3 and 4. So far, I'm a little confused, a little intrigued. This book is very much reading like slice of life, even though it's not really slice of life, but we are essentially following around our main characters, Johnny and Shannon, as they live their lives. The mundane things in their lives is what we're seeing. There's not any like super centralized conflict. There's not, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I hope that you understand what I'm saying. Like, it's not slice of life because there is a conflict, there is exposition, but it's very much reading slice of life. And to me, that's just unique. It's interesting because I don't think I've ever read something like this. I feel like the romances that I've read are very much rom-coms. And if not, they're the type of book where it's just very formulaic, right? We meet the characters, there's a conflict, we go through it, we either resolve the conflict for the most part, and then there's a happily ever after. It's just very this, and this. And with this, it's not following that really. We're spending a ton of time with the characters, very character driven. If that's not your thing, if you are a plot girl, this is character driven for sure. And even at that, I feel like it's not very, I don't know, even though it's about the characters themselves, I don't feel like the story is being propelled. It might be that it's so long. I know that I'm running in circles with this, but my point is that I feel like I've read 424 pages and nothing has happened. But a lot has happened. Like, they're just living their lives. And I think that I'm just the type of girl that is not enough for me. I don't take a lot of interest in others' lives. So I think that might be it. But I am curious because at 423 pages, they share their first kiss. And it's not even because of romance and all that. It's kind of accidental. So I appreciate the very slow burn. We do see the conflicts that are plaguing their lives. So it's reading very kind of realistic. Like, I could see this happening. I could see this dude dealing with his sports injuries. I can see the girl dealing with her shitty home life. And I can see real people going through these things. I just don't know that I care. You know what I mean? That being said, I don't feel like DNFing it or anything. I haven't felt like, oh, I need to stop reading this. So that's why I'm saying that I'm confused. Do I like it or not? I don't know. I don't know. Good afternoon. It is Thursday, May 16th. Happy Bridgerton Day. Bridgerton season 3 has come out today and I have not watched it. It's already 5 p.m. and I just dragged my ass out of bed right now. All I've done all day is lay in bed under the blanket and mindlessly scroll through TikTok. I mean, I did wake up in the morning, packed my husband's lunch, took a shower, did all that. And then I went right back to bed. And I have just been in the worst mood today. Like, I'm not in a bad mood. I'm in like a, like, I just don't even know what I'm feeling, you know? I don't know. It's not a good day, which is funny because it's a great day outside. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the waves are waving, the cruise ships are taking off. There's a pizza truck outside, there's a coffee truck outside, and I hate it. I've told you all I like gloomy, dark days. I don't know. Also, I woke up with the worst. Like today, I don't know. I feel like my makeup always looks like I put in a lot of effort. Maybe that's just me, but I don't. It literally takes like 10 minutes to do my makeup. And I've been like simplifying my routine even more. Like I don't wear eyeshadow anymore. I just take my blush and just, and I don't like to like fuss with eyeliner. So I just drew one line, smudge it, and that's it. And I have been like filling in my eyebrows less. I've just been simplifying things because I just don't like the feel of anything on my face. And today is perfect. I don't feel like I have anything on, but I woke up and the like corners of my mouth, and not just the corners, but like even the like outer parts of my lips were they still are so insanely chapped. But this morning it was like peeling off. Like I look disgusting. And so I took this medicated lip balm and I put it on, and that actually helped a lot. But I don't understand, like, why? Anyway, I did finish Binding 13. I'm determined to turn this day around, even though it's already 5 p.m. My husband's on the way home, but I'm determined. So let's talk about it. Binding 13. I ended up giving this a very mid 3 stars. Why? Because I just don't know. Did I like this? Did I hate this? I don't know. I feel very conflicted. I felt like I stand by everything that I told you before. I stand by the fact that this was very much character driven. It felt like there was no plot. It just felt like we were following some randos' lives. And I also didn't fall in love with the characters like most people are. I'm definitely in the minority. I didn't fall in love with Johnny or Shannon. I do like them, but I didn't fall in love with them. The closest one that I came to really liking is Gibbsy. I just think he's a good friend. He's funny. He's a cool guy. But I didn't love anything about this book as a whole. The main thing that stood out to me, this book is way too freaking long. This book had no business being 600 pages and then having the audacity to end with the climax. Like Chloe Walsh said, I'm going to secure that second book. Let me give them the story at the end. She is a smart lady, but you did not have to do that to me. You did not have to make me read 1,200 pages to have a completed story. Yeah, I was infuriated last night that I finished this book. The way that it ended, I was like, wow, amazing. I love that. But it's like, I have to read the second book now, because if I don't, I'm in the middle of the story and I don't own the second book. So yeah, I mean, genius on her part. Like, she's like, you're gonna buy book 2. But I hate her because now I need to get book 2. That being said, I did start Funny Story last night, but then it was like 3 a.m. and I passed out. So I read like 10%, and I don't want to talk about it right now because I'm not in it enough to where I could tell you the gist of what's happening. But hopefully I get a lot of reading done for the rest of the evening, because I'm not in the Bridgerton mood. I don't want to watch it if I'm not going to be like super hyped about it. So yeah, let's get to reading Funny Story. Update time. I left the tripod up. I left everything, the mic, everything on. So I'm going to give you an update because I'm in a much better mood. I'm still not feeling great, but I am in a better mood. So I think that counts. Also, I opened up a package and I got some new headbands because I'm a headband girl. And I've been trying to wear more headbands, but I don't know where to get them. Like, are you a headband girl? Or is your daughter a headband girl or something? Because I know I'm a little juvenile, but I don't know. I love headbands, and this one is so cute. I don't even know if you can see it because I have to like move my head down, but it has little bees and it's so cute. I freaking love it. It's also like a black velvet, so I don't necessarily feel like a child wearing it. But I want more headbands because I love them. I love them so much. I love that they keep my hair out of my face. I feel like I slip on a headband and I can take on the world. Maybe that's why I'm in a better mood now, because of my headband. Anyway, I have an update. I'm only 16% into Funny Story, but now I kind of know what's going on, so I feel like I can talk about it a little bit. And like I said, I still had the camera up. I'm in a better mood. The sun is still trying to fry us alive, but it's okay. I'm reading Funny Story on my Kindle because I refused to buy the hardcover. I'm gonna wait for that paperback. And recently I made some decisions, which I'll talk about it in another vlog, but I'm just trying to cut back on the book buying. Not necessarily because I need to stop buying books, but for other reasons. We'll get into those later. Anyway, Funny Story. So in this, we follow our two main characters. It would be like me to forget their names when I freaking start the update. I know the guy is Miles, but what's the girl's name? Daphne. So we follow Miles and Daphne, and the way that the story starts off is Daphne is engaged to this guy named Peter, and she's just so in love with him. She's so happy. She's been doing all this wedding planning. They're about to get married. And everything's going great, right? She's a librarian. She moved to where Peter wanted to move. They bought the house that they wanted to buy. She got a new job. She kind of uprooted her life, left her family behind to be with Peter because she just loves him so much, right? And they're engaged. And then we have Miles, who is dating this girl named Petra. And Petra and Peter and Petra are besties. And they've been besties since they were little kids. They grew up together. They've always been the best of friends. So they've always been in each other's lives, but it's always been platonic. Nothing more. They just grew up together, and so they're friends, right? So cut to the beginning of the book. Peter and Daphne are literally going to get married, so they are having all the stuff, right? They had the engagement party, and now it's time for the bachelor and bachelorette party. And Daphne's kind of boring. She's a bookworm. She's a librarian, so she doesn't want to do a whole lot. But Peter has his bachelor party. He's going to go out, and Petra ends up going with him to the bachelor party because I don't know if she's the best man. I don't think she is, but she's his best friend. So she's invited to the bachelor party. They go out. They have a great time. The next day, Peter comes home and he's like, Daphne, we need to talk. And she's like, okay, like, did you have fun? He's like, oh yeah, I had fun. A little too much fun because it's over. I'm in love with Petra. I want to be with Petra. I'm sorry. I just realized that she's the one for me. She's always been the one for me. She's always been there for, well, right? This fucking asshole leaves Daphne for Petra, and Petra's downstairs. He's like, I'm going to give you a week to clear your shit up and get out of here. Me and Petra, we're going to go on a little vacation to give you some time to clear your shit out. Because we're just such good people. We're gonna give you that time. And she just left devastated. She's like, what the fuck just happened? And she literally gets mad, runs downstairs, chases him, blah blah. A whole thing. They drive away. She ends up moving out because obviously he doesn't want her anymore. And this is not a spoiler. Like, if you read the synopsis, then you know. I'm just kind of fluffing it for your enjoyment. But yeah, so poor girl gets dumped right before her wedding, and Petra was dating this guy Miles, and so she ends up breaking it off with him because Peter's the one. He's the one. So she dumps Miles too. Miles ends up showing up at Daphne and Peter's house. And he's like, you could tell he was crying. He was devastated. And he's like, is she here? I got a letter that she's leaving me for that fucker. And Daphne's like, they're gone. They're gone. He left me too. Join the club. And so she's just like, what am I going to do now? And she's just like, hey, do you have a spare room? And she ends up moving in with Miles. So now they're living together, wallowing in their self-pity, just going through it, man. And that's kind of where we start the book. We get this little background in a couple pages, and we find out they're living together and they're not doing great. And then they don't really talk much, but they're friendly with each other, you know? They just don't like go out and hang out. But at the beginning of the book, they get an invitation. They each get an invitation to Peter and Petra's wedding. The audacity of these people. They invite their exes that they left to their wedding. And they both are like devastated, so they get drunk and they kind of bond. And they decide that, you know, fuck it. They're gonna go to that wedding. Not only that, but they're gonna pretend that they're happy. They're gonna make it so that they, you know, put off the vibe that you didn't get me. Like, we have each other now, because these fools decide that they are gonna fake date, that they're gonna pretend that they're into each other and they're gonna help each other get through it. And damn, I love fake dating. So I hope that this is gonna be a really good fake dating story. Miles, the dude, I love him. So when I started reading this book, I had seen people already raving about it and stuff, and saying that Miles was like Nick from New Girl. And I love that show. I love New Girl. I love Schitt's Creek. I love Parks and Recs. But I love Nick. I love everybody in New Girl. But he really is giving me Nick vibes. So every time I'm reading, I'm thinking of Nick. I don't see Daphne as Jess, because Daphne's more quiet, more reserved. Like, she's in awe that Miles is so like outgoing and he can make friends with anybody, talk to anybody, and she cannot. She struggles. She's an introvert. And I feel like Jess was not like that. Jess was quirky and weird and like awkward, but she didn't give a fuck. You know, she was like fine socializing and all that, but she was weird. Daphne's just more introverted, but there's nothing really quirky, goofy, silly about her. So I don't picture her as Jess, but I can see the Nick and Miles, and I'm loving it. Miles is just, he's funny. He's also so unserious about everything. She'll say something serious that she's like having anxiety over, and he's like, yeah, I guess. Sucks. So I like that. I think that I'm really going to enjoy him, and I hope that that they rub off on each other, you know? Growth. But yeah, I'm excited so far. I had to come here and talk about it because it's so far so good. Like, I'm smiling, I'm loving Miles, and I hope that this is amazing, because I feel like after Binding 13, like, I liked it was cool, but I need something that I'm just like giddy about, you know, that I'm just like about, you know. Hey, good afternoon. It's already pretty late today. It's like 5-ish. But Butters and I came outside, and I just decided to sit out here for a while because it's really nice. Really, really nice. And today has been such a chill day, as you can tell. No makeup kind of day. We're just kind of watching the cars drive by. There's construction outside, so I hope it's not too bad, but I did want to give you an update on Funny Story because I've been reading all day. I've really been into the book, but there's definitely some things that I thought were going to happen that have not happened yet. So first of all, I know I kind of said this was going to be like a fake dating situation because they were going to pretend to fake date, and then they were going to show up to their ex's weddings together so that they could, you know, be like, we're fine. That hasn't happened, and we're 50% of the way in, but I'm okay with that. It's been very much slow burn, so I do like that. And it's also been pretty chill. I just feel like it's all about the vibes right now. Just, pretty chill, cozy vibes. I really do like the characters, and I feel like it's kind of reminding me of when I was reading Binding 13, except I didn't like the Binding 13 characters, and with Funny Story, I do like them. Sorry about the hair. It's, it's windy out here. But yeah, I do like these characters. I definitely can see what people were saying about Miles being like Nick from New Girl. I see it. Although it's not exact, but he does have Nick vibes. And I really like Daphne too. She's more introverted. She's sarcastic, but he's helping her come out of her shell and figure out what she truly likes, what are her interests, and kind of living her own life now that she's out of the shadow of her ex, because he was the type of ex where he was not per se like controlling, but they did what he wanted to do and what he liked to do, and they'd spend time with his friends and his family. So she kind of lost her identity. She was left friendless. She was left without any interests, hobbies, friends, because they were all his, and she just kind of fit herself into his life. Which Emily Henry, man, she can write a story that feels so real, but it's also so entertaining, and it can be lighthearted. I'm waiting to see if this is gonna pick up and we're gonna get some like serious situations, because I can't help but keep comparing it to Happy Place, because it's the only other Emily Henry book that I've read. And for me, Happy Place was just so impactful. But I think it also had to do with the fact that I really, really deeply connected to the female main character of that book. Like, the things that she went through, I've gone through, and I just really saw myself in her. I can't say that I see myself in any of these characters, but I still really, really enjoy the story. But like I said, it's all been like vibes, and not like anything crazy has happened. We're just seeing their friendship develop, and it's really sweet. I found myself smiling constantly. It's just endearing. I cannot wait to see where this is going. I hope that like we get a little bit of conflict, like it at least comes in, and I feel like we will, because they have this looming wedding. But we'll see. Helicopter. We'll see. I'll keep you updated, of course. I'm officially done with Funny Story. So I think I updated you yesterday when I was at the 50% mark. I really did like the first half of the book. I really was feeling it. I was thinking this is going to be between 4 and 5 stars. It could go the 5-star route if it ends really well. Unfortunately, it did not end really well for me. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And I can't help but compare any book. I'm sure that any book that I read from her, I'm going to compare it to Happy Place, because that is the first one that I read from her, and it was a 5-star for me. And I already said why it was a 5-star and all that. So I'm not going to talk about Happy Place again, but I do love it that much. That it was just like, even on my reread, I was like, for sure, 5 stars. This one though, I had high hopes because people had been rating it 5 stars, and I was just like, it's gonna be another Happy Place situation, but it wasn't. And I feel like what happened was that the first half of the book, they are just kind of getting to know each other. I talked about how it was very much kind of like Binding 13, where they're just living their lives, except I did like these characters, and the Binding 13 characters I was indifferent about. I didn't dislike them, I just really didn't care. They could have died and I would have been fine. But with these, I did like them. I liked Miles more than Daphne, and that held true. As the book progresses, the latter half, I really almost climbed into the didn't like Daphne territory, because of the issues that she was dealing with. I just felt it was very one-dimensional. It felt very one-dimensional. Like, the story felt simple, but not in the best of ways. Not in what I expect from Emily Henry. So I think that's what it was. My expectations were just too high. But that being said, it was okay. It was a good book. I still enjoyed it. I loved the first half. I really like their little banter back and forth and getting to know each other. And they were never like, they were always friendly with each other from the start. As soon as they meet, they're friendly with each other. So it wasn't like enemies to lovers. I don't want you to think of anything like that, because it wasn't. They were roommates that became friends, that became lovers, that became... We'll stop there. I don't want to ruin anything for you, but I just feel like it was just underwhelming. You know, even the ending was underwhelming. Her issues with her family were underwhelming. His issues with his family was underwhelming and not very... It was kind of brushed over. Like, we didn't really get all that. We got it in the sense that he told us about it, but we didn't really see much. I don't know. I just didn't end up loving this. It's not one that's gonna stick with me. And I did write like a whole essay in my reading journal, because I'm doing that Emily Henry video where I'm gonna rate and rank them all. And I don't want to forget, and I feel like this book might be forgetful for me. So that's unfortunate, but like I said, I didn't hate it or anything. I definitely think any book that she writes is still worth the read. She's still an auto-buy author for me. It just was not something that I loved, not like Happy Place. That being said, if you dislike Happy Place, because I know there's people that don't like Happy Place, maybe try this. It's definitely different. I feel like the characters were different. To me, it just didn't feel as serious as Happy Place. But like I said, I know there's a lot of people that even hate Happy Place. So try it, because I did feel like it was different. And yeah, I did like Miles. He was very much Nick coded. Although it wasn't like fully Nick, it was just, you know, it was there. But all in all, an okay book. So what did we read this week? It's been forever. I feel like it's been a month and it hasn't. I don't know. These books took a while. What did I start with? Oh yeah, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. That was probably my favorite one from this reading vlog. It was that one. Was it a 5-star read? No, but I think that one was my favorite. And you know what? I ended up giving Funny Story 3.75 stars. I had given it 4 originally, and then I was like, no, it's gonna have to go down to 3.75. So that one was the number 2 favorite at 3.75 stars. And then at 3 stars, Binding 13. Again, I didn't regret reading it or anything. I just expected so much more, because this book is so beloved. All the 5 stars. And so I just thought I was going to be blown away, and I wasn't. And I was also really mad that we only get the first half of the story. You have to read the next book to get the conclusion to the story. So that kind of annoyed me, because I only owned the first book, and I was like, damn you, Chloe Walsh. But yeah, definitely I would still read all 3 of them. Check them out. I'm glad that we did this. I'm glad that I read some popular TikTok books. Now I think I'm gonna have to focus on ARCs, because I have never applied to ARCs and decided to, and then I got like accepted for like 5 of them immediately, and now I'm panicking because they weren't in my plan. So I have a lot of reading to do. As always, thank you so much for spending time with me. If you did enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon with another one. Bye.